Dear students, today we discuss the 8th class English lesson, The Story of Ikat. It is from 6th unit, A reading. Bell rang for the next class. The small break before the next class was enough for the children. They moved around and started chatting. The mandatory 5 minutes was over and the teacher did not come. The children started wondering, Ramya, do you think Janagi teacher is absent? Ramya looked out of the classroom and said, How do I know? A few students were grinning. Everyone know Ramya loved Janagi teacher who taught them social studies. So this story is taking place in a classroom. First period is over. The second period is started, and you all know that definitely there will be a 5 minutes break for the next teacher to come, and this 5 minutes is enough for the children to chat. They started chatting. The 5 minutes is over. The teacher has to come now, but she hasn't come. So they asked Ramya, who is the favorite student of Janagi teacher, who is teaching them social. Ramya, is Janagi teacher absent? She looked out from the window and said, How do I know? I don't know whether she is present or not. And by this time, students could see the teacher carrying some fabrics on the corridor, and she was coming to the school classroom. And some students, here it is mentioned that eager helpers, when they saw the teacher is carrying certain fabrics in her hand, they rushed to her to help. Suddenly, they noticed the teacher carrying bundles of cloth walking towards the class. A few dashed to help her. They all liked her as she was fair to everyone and was never partial to one student. The brilliant red and black checked rumals, shawls with black and blue geometrical patterns caught the attention of the class as the teacher handed over them to the material to the eager helpers. So she was carrying certain fabrics like checked rumals, shawls, which has some geometrical patterns over it, on it. Every students very attentively and eagerly listened to the teacher and what she is going to do. She pinned them neatly on soft board and draped the class suddenly looked vibrant. Teacher, what are these fabrics? Why did you bring them? Children pelted her with questions. When the children saw a number of fabrics which she brought, and she kept all these fabrics on the soft board, neatly she arranged on soft board. The students started asking many questions. Children asked the questions like how, why you brought all these fabrics. Then teacher explained, Dear students, today we are going to start a new lesson, the textiles of India, the Ikat of Andhra Pradesh. So she brought these fabrics to teach her new lesson, the textiles of India, especially the fabric which is woven from Andhra Pradesh, that is called Ikat. Many students could not pronounce the word Ikat. So she explained how to pronounce the word Ikat. She explained them that it is pronounced like I in it, Ka in Kamala, T in both. That means it is pronounced as Ikat. They got the pronunciation. Then the class fell silent because she was going to explain the story of Ikat. Ramya asked, Teacher, are these fabrics from Indonesia? She explained the word Ikat is from Indonesia. It is an Indonesian word which means bind or knot. Then Remy asked a doubt. Have you brought these fabrics from Indonesia? Teacher shook her head and said, Children, can anyone remember seeing the designs like this? Rakov said, Teacher, the pattern on the rumal is similar to one of my mother's sari. She asked the children, have you ever seen this kind of designs in your area? Then one of the students, Rakov, he said that it is these designs are similar like the designs on my mother's sari. Though the colors are not same, but the design is same. Teacher was pleased. She became happy because they could identify the designs, the patterns woven on the fabric which she brought. She persisted. She continued. Can anyone tell me the name of the place? It is close to our state capital. There I gave you a clue. So she said, these are woven from our place. She gave a clue to the students that these fabrics are woven from the place which is very near to our capital, Hyderabad. Many students started to name the place, many places which are existing in our state. Among them, one student, he said Nalgonda. Teacher said it is correct. Then she explained, it is Pochampalli in Nalgonda district. Everyone immediately connected to the name. Teacher, we forgot. We could not link. We all know Pochampalli. Teacher said, quiet, let me tell you the story of Ikat. It is the story of handlooms. What are handlooms? Ahmad was the first to voice the question in everyone's mind. The teacher said, as the students started asking number of questions, teacher asked them to be silent and she started explaining. Dear students, I am going to explain the story of Ikat. It is the story of handlooms. Handloom is nothing but a loom or a machine which is operated by our hand. But she is explaining now that in machines, the competition of the machines nowadays, we have forgotten our traditional handlooms and we are all going for power looms. That means nowadays the weavers are using power looms, which is operated by electricity power. Teacher gazed around the class and said, a hand-operated loom which weaves and has even weaving fabrics for centuries. Since hundreds of years, we have been weaving the fabrics by using handloom, but nowadays we forgot this. We are using power looms. In the race with the machine, we have forgotten our heritage. It is our heritage. Since olden days onwards, we have been making fabrics by using handlooms. But nowadays, in the race of machines, we have forgotten our heritage. We are all going for power looms. She became very emotional because we have forgotten our heritage handlooms and we are opting for power looms. For some moments, she became very silent. Janagi began. It is called chitki in Telugu, patola in Gujarat. This fabric is called chitki in Telugu, patola in Gujarat, and simply ikat in Oriya. Ikat in Orissa or in Oriya language, it is said as ikat. Children's attention was divided between her words and the fabrics. They would listen her words as well as the fabrics which are kept on the soft board. As she opened silk patola sari from Patan, Gujarat, It had a red design on the black background with rows of flowers in the border. The simple leaf design repeated across the body, and the flowers in the border created the mesmerizing effect. She opened a patola sari from Patan of Gujarat. It had beautiful designs like many flowers around the border and its leaves around the remaining parts of the sari. It created a mesmerizing, very attractive effect on the students. They eagerly began to listen her class. The teacher said, "Are you thinking about the word ikat or tie and dye?" Means ikat is a fabric which is woven by a process called tie and dye. While you are looking on at the fabrics, what can be the origin of this word? No one answered, but looked expectantly as she continued. In hand weaving, we have threads stretched lengthwise called wrap, and the threads intersecting them widthwise is called webbed. So she explained how the cloth is woven. She said, for weaving cloths, we have to arrange the threads in horizontally and vertically. And she explained, the threads which are lengthwise is called as wrap, and threads which are intersecting means connecting widthwise is called as webbed. Imagine the graph. So it is just like the graph. On the graph we have y-axis and x-axis. So she said, we have crisscross boxes on the graph. Ahmed was excited. Teacher, wrap stretched along y-axis and webbed along y-axis. The class was thrilled with the new understanding came. They got a new understanding. That means while weaving a cloth, the threads which are arranged horizontally and vertically, which are called as wrap and webbed. Let us continue the remaining part in the next session. Thank you very much.